Welcome to Card Pack Attack with your host, Solidante! Got some new stuff for you guys today. The new mythical box is out, the Darkrai box. Pretty much the same as all the other boxes, except it says Darkrai there. Comes with 2 generation packs, the Darkrai promo, and the pin. Rated 6 and up. And also, some Fates Collide packs that I got from being in a pre-release. Had a lot of fun. Got some pretty cool cards. I'll probably go over that a little while I'm also opening these. What a package for today. Something pretty neat. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy right here. I like to try to be a little gentle in the box, but at the same time, the box doesn't really matter to me. Although, it probably would be a smart idea to have one of every box for after they stop printing these, and in the future if these end up being worth anything. And this comes with a little 20th celebration Pokemon thing. Get that out of here. Packaged pretty well as usual. Let's see if we can get this guy out of here without doing any damage to the card. Get that out of here too. And yeah, here's the promo. Looking nice. It was pretty easy to remove. Maybe a little better lighting today, I think. The Darkrai promo. He has Dark Cutter for 1 dark and 1 colorless for 30 damage. And he also has the Abyssal Sleep for 2 dark and 1 colorless. It deals 80 damage, and it puts a Pokemon to sleep, and they have to flip 2 coins instead of 1 in order to wake it, and they both have to be heads. Pretty dirty ability. We have the pin, the Darkrai pin, looking nice, solid as always. Our Blastoise and Charizard pack generations. Let's get that out of here. And since we have 5 packs today, let's go ahead and start with the generations, since I've already done this before. Leave the new for last. Well, this pack just kind of fell apart, but it opened rather easily enough, so that's fine with me. We have a Diglett. He has Mine, which is his first ability for fighting. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck. Then you may have your opponent shuffle his or her deck. It's a pretty neat little ability, and the other one just deals dirty damage. Then we have a Grass Energy. And we have a Shelter. You know what I noticed? We're missing something today. Hold on for just one moment. I was missing the box. I knew something seemed a little off today. Let's go ahead and set that in there. And we have a Shoulder that has, for 1 water and 1 colorless, Rain Splash for 20 damage. Caterpie that has the Adaptive Evolution, so you can evolve it the first time you play it. And it has 1 green for a Bug Bite for 10 damage. We got a Hollow Dodrio, which, as long as it's on your bench, your active Pokemon's retreat cost is down by 2 colorless. So most Pokemon can retreat, others, it's a lot easier to retreat them for just 1. And it has a 3 colorless for a Fury attack that does 40 damage, and you flip 3 coins, it deals 40 damage for each one. You have Meowstic, which has the regular and the shiny form. Its first ability allows you to move around damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another. And then for 3, you can do Psychic, and it deals 10 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it can do quite a bit of damage too. Then we have a Rapidash with agility for 1 fire, deals 20, and if you flip a coin heads, then you can prevent all damage dealt to it. And 20, and 2 colorless for an overrun for 40 damage, and it deals 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. We've got an Esper that has Twinkle, 1 Psychic. Your opponent's Pokemon is now asleep. Simple. Red card, make your opponent shuffle their card, shuffle their hand back into their deck, and draw 4. Then we have Pokemon Center Lady. Heal 60 damage and remove all special conditions from one Pokemon. From one of your Pokemon. Let's go ahead and open our second generations pack. Pack attack. Roll credits. Get that out of here. Machop with a 1 fighting for a Knuckle Punch for 10 damage. A Thunder Energy. A Repeat Shelter. A Clefairy for 1 colorless. Heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. And for a Fairy and 1 colorless, 20 damage from a pound. And then we have a Hollow Machop. Chop. And 1 fighting for 10 damage. Meow! That's my cat. He's probably hungry, or not hungry, we already fed him, he's probably just whining. And then we have a Flareon EX, so that's pretty neat. I like the Flareon EX. You can move around once per turn, fire energy from one Pokemon to this Pokemon, so it can set itself up pretty easily. And for 3 colorless, it deals Blaze Ball, but it deals 20 more damage for each fire energy equipped. And we have a Dugtrio, which is a repeat. Chikorita has Run Around for 1 colorless. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Simple, and for 1 green and 1 colorless, Vine Whip for 20. And a Machoke, 2 fighting for Beat Down for 40. And a Crushing Hammer, which if you flip a coin and you get heads, then you get to discard an energy from your opponent's Pokemon. Boom! 2 packs down, and now we've got our Fates Collide. Let's see what we get out of these bad boys. I'm a little more familiar since I was actually able to go do the event. Go ahead and set that down here. And we have our Carbink, which prevents all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's EX. So, Beast EX Wall. EXs are now kind of broken. Fighting is going to be very prevalent in this new set. For 1 fighting and 1 colorless, Power Gem for 40. And we got a Deerling, which allows you to find a friend for a colorless. Which basically allows you to just search your deck for a Pokemon. So, I can see that being used quite a bit. Mancino, for 1 colorless, deals Tail Smack for 20. A Bronzer. And he has Iron Defense, so if you flip a coin and its heads, prevents all effects of attacks, including damage, during your opponent's next turn. For 1 steel, and for a steel and a colorless, you can do a Hammer in for 20. And we've got a Snubble, who has Ruckus. For fighting, or for 1 fairy and 1 colorless, it deals 50 damage, and if you flip a coin of tails, this attack does nothing. And then a Hollow Repeat Deerling, and then we have a Rotom for the rare. He has Energy Extract for 1 Thunder, or for 1 Electricity. Search your deck for a basic energy attached to this Pokemon, shuffle your deck afterwards. So, very simple. And then Plasma Magic, remove 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. Wow, that's actually really useful if you use that with the ability, or with one of the attacks, any attacks that deals damage to your own benched Pokemon. That's pretty neat. Loudred, for 1 colorless, he does the Smash Kick for 10. And for 3 colorless, if you flip a coin and heads, it deals 40 more damage. And it deals 40 initially. Then we have the Alakazam Spirit Link, so you don't have to end your turn if you evolve Alakazam EX. And we ended up with the Wormadam For 1 steel, it deals 20 damage, and this attack deals 20 more damage than the time. 20 damage times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. So a lot of this set has the answer for if a damage counters on a Pokemon, it can deal more damage or something like that. Move it around. Definitely pretty neat. And for 1 steel and 2 colorless, deals Iron Head. It deals 60 damage and flip a coin until you get tails, and deals 20 damage for each heads you get. So this could definitely be somewhat useful for a steel deck. Let's go ahead and open our second pack. And we've got, ooh, I can see an EX in this already, so I'm wondering what it is and who it's gonna be. Orilu. For 1 fighting, it deals Smash Punch, and if you flip a coin and get tails, it deals nothing. Seal. For 1 colored, or for 1 blue, it deals 10 damage with Icy Snow. Larvitar, which has a Reckless Charge, it deals 10 damage for itself, but still deals 20. Could use it 6 times before it's dead, or knocked out. And then we have a Leer. For 1 colorless, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. And then for 1 dark and 2 colorless, 40 damage with a Cutting Wing. There's a Burmy, which for 1 colorless deals Hang Down, which deals 10 damage. And then a Hollow Carbink, which is nice. Ooh! Alakazam EX! What up, son? Yeah! Yeah! That's pretty cool. And I'm digging it. Let's go ahead and see what it does, but first, go ahead and give you a good look at the card. Looks rather nice. It's not a full art, but it still is Alakazam EX. Kinesis is its ability, and when you play Mega Alakazam EX from your hand to evolve this Pokemon, before it evolves, you may put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon and 3 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokemon. So I can definitely see where they built in a counter to this Pokemon in the set. So that's good. And then for 1 Psychic and 1 colorless, you can do Suppression, which puts 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any energy attached to it. So any Pokemon setting up, you can just start hammering away. Pretty neat. And it doesn't say consider weakness or resistance, so I'm guessing, I don't know. I think since it doesn't deal damage, it just puts damage counters on. That's different. So, awesome. I'm super stoked. Altaria Spirit Link. Same thing, but for Altaria EX. Then we have the Dome Fossil Kabuto. Look, the 7 bottom random cards, you may reveal a Kabuto you find there and put it into your bench. Shuffle the other cards into your deck. Simple enough. And a Wormadam, but a fighting one. For 1 fighting, it deals 30 damage with the Sand Spray. And then for 3 colorless, it deals 60 damage. And if Mothim is on your bench, it deals 60 more damage. So, that's pretty alright. And let's see what this third pack is. But, yeah. That 1 card, to me, made it worth it to even go the whole thing overall. And, yeah. So we have a repeat of this bird thing. Get that out of here. Larvitar repeat. Coughing. For 1 Psychic, you get to do Division, which allows you to search your deck for up to 2 Coughing and put them into your bench. Shuffle your deck afterward. Sneevee for 1 green allows you to do Blot, which deals 10 damage and heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. A Diglett, which has fighting, 1 fighting to do Ram for 10. And then the rare, which is also hollow, is the Explode, which has 3 to do an ambush for 80 damage, and if you flip heads, you do 40 more. Or Cacophony for 30 colorless, At the end of your opponent's next turn, discard the defending Pokemon and all cards attached to it. So it doesn't count as a knockout, but you do get to remove it from the battlefield into the graveyard. So you could just remove all the cards and you win. Huh. And then we got a non-holo one. So cool. Pokemon Fan Club, which allows you to search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, including EXs, and put them into your hand. And then a repeat word ram. And cool, one of the Zygarde forms. I got the Zygarde promo. And this is it deals for 1 fighting, you get to do Lookout. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. And then for a fighting and 2 colorless, you deal Aura Break for 70. If the defending Pokemon is a Dark type or Fairy type, it cannot attack during your opponent's next turn. Ooh, pretty cool. And go ahead and set that here and boom, and we're back. And this is what I looted from my pool earlier. And if you saw me over on my Twitter at Card Pack Attack on Twitter, I sent out a picture. I got the Diancie EX and I got the Zygarde promo out of my set. The Zygarde does Ramble for 1 fighting and 1 colorless. Your opponent deals 30 damage and the other Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. And then for 2 fighting and 1 colorless, deals Geostrike, which deals 120 damage, and you put 10 damage counters. You put a 10 damage counter on each of your benched Pokemon. And then we got the Diancie EX, which was a pretty cool pull. And it has Sparkle Veil, which decreases damage by 30, more or less. And then for 1 fairy and 2 colorless, if there's any stadium in play, this attack deals 60 more damage. So that's pretty neat. Pretty powerful card. And it was a pretty good pull overall. I got the Alakazam EX and Diancie, and I got the Zygarde promo. So I would rate this a 2 thumbs up out of 2 thumbs up, because that's as many thumbs as I have. Haha. Go ahead and set that up here. If you like the video, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what? All 3 of these Fates Collides are going to be up. So if you want a chance at winning one, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And as always, stay solid.